Let's talk about a law of consciousness, and we would describe this law as paradoxical intent. Now, there is a huge difference between wanting something and needing it. Can you tell what the difference is? Well, wanting something is at first a positive statement of something where you want to go with your life. But needing something is saying that because you don't have it, from a state of desperation, you feel this compulsion to work towards it. Now, this is a very subtle thing that we want to be very aware of, because as long as we're working from a state of need, we're actually working against ourselves. Again, this might seem paradoxical because you might be in a situation where financially or career-wise speaking or relationship-wise, you feel like something needs to change dramatically in order to improve it. But as long as we're coming from a place of neediness, we always walk the risk of self-sabotaging ourselves to attract the ideas we need that can actually improve anything in our lives. Now, if you start with what you want, it starts in the conscious mind. We want to place that want in our subconscious mind, which means we want to be emotionally involved in it. So that way the ideas that we work with start to drive us. Instead of us thinking of them, we are becoming driven by our own dreams to make stuff happen. Now, the law of paradoxical intent pretty much states that if we can get rid of the need for something that we want, we can achieve it. Now, this is very tricky at first for most students of metaphysics. When they hear this, they're like, how does that make sense? Because I know I want this. I can feel almost that it's very important to me, so in a way I need to achieve this in order to make my life better. But now you're telling me that I shouldn't need the dream that I have in my mind. I shouldn't feel any need to make it happen. Well, this is true, because neediness is a place of lack and limitations. It is tricky to describe this effectively because I don't know your exact situation, but I can only describe it from personal experience and observation I've seen in other people's lives. So let me use those examples to hopefully make it easier for you to measure for yourself whether you're coming from a place of positive wants or a place of neediness. For example, if in my own case, with my own goals in life, I would take a dream of my own. For example, sharing the power of consciousness with humanity. If I would approach my dream from a place of neediness, there's a temptation to always worry about the amount of people it reaches, how much, it is influencing people in a positive way or not, how fast something is growing in my world, how much money I will be generating with it. There's all sorts of stuff that actually, instead of allowing me to freely express my dream, is causing me to focus on little details in my physical world to see whether I am on the right track or not. This is a very subtle thing, and it happens to so many people. They start to work on their dreams, but then they're still in a place of perhaps a little bit of doubt or worry whether it can really come true. So they constantly keep checking on the physical side of life on whether things are going alright. But you see, even if things don't seem to go alright on the physical side of life, we just want to trust in the process. We want to trust in ourselves with such intensity that we know that we're going to get there and we're going to achieve our dreams. And it doesn't really matter what happens on the physical side of life as long as we hold the picture in our minds of where we want to go. Now, what does neediness do? It will cause you to think stuff like, it's not happening fast enough because I need it now. I need it as fast as possible. I need to realize my dream within this time span or it will all be over for me. It sounds overly dramatic, I know, but that's sort of the mentality that people work with concerning their own dreams. Maybe you have a financial goal, and in a way the need is very high for you to fix this area in your life. But you still don't want to be approaching it from a place of neediness. You want to transform your own consciousness in that of one of wealth. You want to approach your life from a wealthy mindset. Now, this takes practice again, and repetition especially, where you reinforce the idea of wealth, whatever that means to you, and you start seeing that life of wealth within your consciousness over and over every day, as many times during the day as you can. You focus your consciousness on it, because that is what makes it both clear and more stronger within your consciousness to work from such a mentality in general. It's like people who have a weight goal as well. They might say, I need to achieve this within a month. I need to have this result, otherwise I'm screwed. Well, perhaps if you're in a competition of some sort where you really have to be fast about it, that is when it might happen. I just hope that if people are in a competition of some sort, that they would be smart enough to take enough time for themselves to keep working on it, so that they can be more confident about the results that they will have around the time that they need to show up on stage. For example, in bodybuilding. No bodybuilder would wait for the last minute until they start training themselves. They do that very, very far in advance. Months, maybe years in advance. I mean, that's the reality of it all. But are they all working from a place of neediness? Of course not. At least the ones that are winning aren't. And it's the same with any other goal we have in life. We don't want to approach it from a place of need, which is subtly and subconsciously a place of lack and limitations. You don't want to feel like you need anything. You want to know that you already, on an energetic essence, possess everything you want. Because your consciousness hooks you up with your invisible source of supply. That source of supply operates through ideas that float through your mind. Like I once read in a great book, ideas float through the air, searching for the right mental soil. And the mental soil is your own state of consciousness. So what sort of state of consciousness are you operating from? If it's one that only focuses on what they want and where they want to go with their lives, they'll keep attracting ideas that can help them improve their lives. If it's one where you're constantly in need of many things, you're admitting to yourself that you're currently still lacking the very thing that you want to have. These are subtle things in metaphysical teachings that we must understand if we want to make great use of this power. And this is also what causes people to perhaps become delusional. If they are applying these teachings, but aren't in the true consciousness, where we mean your imagination and emotional self are in harmony with your dream, they start to sort of, fool themselves. I think that's the right way to put it. What happens is that people only use their conscious mind, but are not emotionally involved with their own dream. So they might start talking to friends or family about their dreams and how great it is and that they're definitely going to achieve this. But their belief system is not in harmony at all with the dream, and therefore they're not really acting in the right way. This happens more often than you might realize. Now, in order to fix that, one of my mentors used to talk to me about a word called praxis, and he would say that is called integrating your belief with behavior. He would go on to say that many people, if you ask them, do you believe you could improve your life? Do you believe that you could improve your finances? Do you believe that you could improve your results in general? Most people would say to that, yeah, I believe that. I believe that I could earn more money. I believe that I could improve my life if I wanted to. And then the question becomes, well, why aren't you doing so then? And that is very interesting and true, because we can all say on a conscious level that we believe something is possible for us, but on a subconscious, deep emotional level, we might not actually feel that it is possible for us. And you see, the way we feel determines the way we behave and what we attract in this life. This is why we should never forget about the feeling part of our consciousness. So instead of feeling needy about a dream, you want to feel full of your own dream. With this we mean, if the dream is financial in nature, then you want to feel rich. If the dream concerns a career, then you want to feel successful and good at that career within yourself. If the dream is a better relationship, a better love life, then you will want to feel filled with love. You want to feel that you're both a loving and a lovable person, so that it can happen for you. If your dream is being at a certain weight, you want to feel yourself at your perfect weight already. By applying this technique of causing your feelings to be aimed at your dream, You're no longer in a place of neediness because you already possess what you want inside of yourself. On a conscious, energetic level, you're already in touch with the end result, so you will never feel needy about it. Yes, even if it takes a long time, even if it takes longer than you expected to achieve the goal itself, it doesn't matter, because you understand by simply feeling the dream in as much depth as you can within your consciousness, you are already hooked up with the result itself on an energetic level. Then, of course, over a certain period of time, it starts to express and form itself more and more. It starts to crystallize itself into time and space. Can you tell the subtle difference between wanting something and needing it? Because anything we need comes from a place of desperation. And we might become impatient. Becoming impatient is detrimental to your success. Because then we're starting to say, I want things to happen on my terms. And then we might blame the universe or even God for not giving it to us in time or ever at all. There's so many people out there who truly do have the concept, okay, yeah, there must be a spirit of power behind life. Whether they call it God or not doesn't matter. But then they also reason, well, maybe this power doesn't want me to achieve this. Maybe this prayer has to go unanswered for me. It might happen for other people out there, of course, that's how you reason, but maybe not for me. The thing is, all your prayers can be answered as long as you are in a harmonious vibration with your own prayer work. As long as you are mentally and emotionally in harmony with your own dream. And in order to be in harmony with your own dream, you have to let go of the need for its realization. So with me and my goals again, I set them, but I don't feel the need to achieve them. This might sound contradicting. This sounds like a paradox, right? I set goals for myself, but I'm totally fine and at ease and at peace within myself if I can't see them physically yet in my world. That is the main point you want to remember. If you can focus on your goals, and be totally at ease and at peace with yourself, without seeing its realization right now in front of your eyes, well then you're in harmony in the right way with your dream. Then you'll be able to consistently work towards it with a calm, steady focus. But every time we feel the need for it, we're starting to look at the physical world, and then if we can't see evidence enough for its realization yet, we start to doubt and worry and question the goal again. This happens to so many people, and it might have happened to you. In fact, I would dare to say that it happens to pretty much everyone on the planet. Very, very rarely individuals never have this experience, but most of us, we are familiar with this concept, but maybe we could have never put it into words in the right way to understand what is going on inside our consciousness. What's going on inside our consciousness at those times is that we are too focused on the need for it physically, when in reality, this is a mental world, a world of consciousness. And as we always say, the way we use our consciousness determines the quality of our lives. Therefore, by simply imagining and feeling something inside your mind means you already have achieved it. So let go of the need for its physical realization, and then you'll discover that the idea can freely flow with and through you, and it will still alter the physical reality around you. This is very true and a very tricky thing for most students again to grasp at first. But if you take the time to consider this deeply, what I just shared with you, you can measure for yourself. Are you approaching your dreams from a place of neediness? This means, are you still looking at the physical world for signs that it's happening? Or are you fully trusting the power of your own consciousness in these teachings, that if you imagine and feel it within yourself, the ways for its fulfillment are set in motion and it will happen. Maybe not as fast as you want it, but as long as you stay in harmony with it, it will happen. So you're not so desperate anymore. You don't feel stuck in that neediness. Consider this deeply and consider it well. With that being said, dear viewer, never forget that we are the dreamers.